Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now April 2nd of 2025, and given that the Snow White box office disaster continues to worsen for the Walt Disney Company, based on how much they poured into this budget, the marketing campaign, the press tour, the traveling expenses for Rachel Zegler, as you all know, she did sing overseas in different countries, but what's interesting about all of this has a lot more to do with the fact that when you factor all of that in, they lost well over $300 million on this mess, and this is all on Bob Iger, by the way. This is all his fault for really greenlighting a project like this. They heard about the criticism well back in 2022/2023. They could have definitely done something earlier on than later, and they didn't. So this is all on Disney. It's not just all about Rachel Zegler, though she's not innocent in all of this, but a lot of it does have to do with Bob Iger. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. And thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Rachel Zegler is that we already know that she is beginning to go on this damage control train. She is trying to do whatever it takes to convince those out there that do not want to see the film to go ahead and give this movie a shot, right? Now, we all know that this movie is going to be on Disney Plus in no time. A lot of you out there have been reporting back here below in the comments that in your local area, they're already beginning to ditch this movie out of your theater, and that's true. If you go over all the statistics, there are a lot of theaters across the country in the US that are beginning to abandon Snow White already because they're getting ready for a Minecraft movie. Now, we'll have to wait and see how a Minecraft movie performs. We know that the first trailer, the first teaser when it first arrived, it got some criticism, and then it had some kind of a recovery with the full-length trailer and other TV spots. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how a Minecraft movie performs, but there's no doubt about it that it will steal the limelight away from Snow White. That's pretty much a guarantee. But what's interesting about all of this has a lot more to do with Zegler's financial crisis. Let's jump into this. Now, with the Walt Disney Company now under investigation by the FCC from their improper usage of DEI, and yes, this is happening, they are still dealing with the Snow White backlash and the abysmal box office metrics. Now, one major development involves more to do with Rachel Zegler in the midst of not only the widespread failure of Snow White, but her very own financial collapse and her recent behavior toward it all. A crucial update surrounding this now involves how Rachel Zegler recently had a falling out with both her agent and manager, where she put full blame on their mishandling of her acting career and helping her land specific roles in the film industry. However, already Rachel lost a total of 8 film roles. 8 that range from minor to major appearances in movies meant to release in theaters. The biggest one of all was going to be by the Walt Disney Company for the Pirates of the Caribbean remake, where she was going to be the supporting character in the film, where Disney was going to pay her an estimated, get this, $5 million for the role. This was before she was fired from all Disney-related projects. Zegler also was going to be involved in the new 2027 Godzilla film by both Warner Brothers and Legendary. Specifically, it's the third Godzilla vs. Kong crossover film. However, before she was booted from this project, she was going to be paid a whopping $6.5 million for the role for a character codenamed Jane, who was going to be the daughter of a lead scientist in the film. To make matters worse, for Zegler's sake, her agent and manager were also near close to closing a deal with Paramount to bring her into a role for Scream 7, set to drop in 2026, where she would play one of the side characters. Though this film was only offering Zegler $1.5 million, Paramount decided to call off all negotiations and conversations with her team after learning about not just the Disney drama and bombshell news that's been coming out, but also her issues with Gal Gadot reportedly angered tons of top Hollywood producers in the industry that nearly, of course, no major Hollywood studio wants to work with Zegler right now. Now, let that sink in for a moment there. The fact that the drama between herself and Gal is angering so many top Hollywood producers, it speaks volumes. It says something about the current status of Rachel Zegler's acting career and just how nobody wants to work with her anymore, practically. It's spreading like crazy, and we already know that there's a lot of things going on right now with Zegler. She's trying to fight back. She's trying to challenge many of these studios that are making these calls, these decisions. And I don't think she's going to get anything done in her favor. She really has no case there. And yes, she's been trying to create some kind of legal action towards some of these studios. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But what's interesting about this yet again is the fact that this is all it takes. All you have to do is be very insufferable, say some of the worst things out there that go against a project that you're working on. Hence why she talked about 1937's version of Snow White, how she literally trashed that movie. She trashed the concept of the prince being in a Snow White film. All of these different things. That's all it took to tank her entire career. You know, not just Snow White, not just her affiliation with Disney. Her entire career is going down the toilet. It's spinning around right now and it's going down. So, alright, now some of which, like the ones mentioned previously, have been blacklisted her, of course, to never have her work with them, period. Now, Zegler was also supposed to land a voiceover role in Shrek 5 with DreamWorks for yet another side character. Now, though this role was only going to pay Zegler around $850,000, far less than the other studios, and this would indicate her role would be smaller in the film. DreamWorks also informed her agent manager to call off all conversations as they don't want to work with Zegler, as they now view her as a high-risk actress, especially for their PR practices and promoting their films. Now, Zegler is already trying to clap back, get this, at, of course, some of these studios where she believes that she holds a discrimination case, since they, of course, broke her contracts, when in reality most of these studios, though they were about to sign her, the contracts were not finalized for some, like DreamWorks and Paramount, for example, while the others, the contracts were in the works. So, again, I mean, this just goes to show you that Zegler, I don't even know why she was getting all these roles. The main answer is this, and we talked about this like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever it was. Hollywood believed that she would be the new it girl, quote unquote. Kind of like a Sydney Sweeney or a Jenna Ortega, you know, something like that. They believed that she would be the new it girl in Hollywood, or at least one of those. And it just did not happen. It did not work for her. And it feels like that she kind of had that sense in her mind that that's what she was, or that's what she was going to become. Hence why she was so entitled, why she was very self-absorbed and so selfish when it came to trying to really fix this movie. And yes, Rachel Zegler was very difficult to work with on the set of Snow White. There's a lot of things coming out, there's a lot of things to discuss, but we know that Mark Webb, the director of the film, also had some trouble with, of course, the amount of takes that it took for Rachel Zegler to complete some scenes. We talked about that previously. It's a very big problem for the Walt Disney Company right now, based on everything that's happening between the box office, the abysmal reviews coming in for Snow White, and let's not forget about this, the fact that you have this movie already going out of theaters as we speak, not just because of how bad it is, but the fact that Disney and the theaters know that Minecraft is coming out in pretty much just a short number of days from now, and it's going to drop, it's going to steal the numbers away from Snow White. You're going to see these things dwindling very fast once that movie drops, and I gotta say, I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting transition, so to speak, later on in the week to see what happens there. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about everything related to Snow White, everything related to Disney, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.